Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today TV. Some fortnight ago, the news went viral that the presidency, Aso Villa, is treating a lot of sicknesses. And, we all had some days from years ago how Abakiari went down. And they are trying to be very careful so that they don't have similar occurrences in Aso Villa. As we speak, the media aide of the president have decided to clear the air. Some person said it was false, other person said it was real. Well, he had decided to tell Nigerians exactly the true picture and what to expect. Before going to the newspaper, like it, subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button beside it. You see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. All right. The presidency as at Sunday confirmed that some top aides of President Muhammad Buhari have contracted the coronavirus, that's COVID-19. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, told Channels Television Sunday Politics that Buhari's aides are humans, are not immune to infection. Well, report has it that the presidential villa's permanent secretary, that's Tijani Omar, the president, Aide Camp, ADC, Yusuf Dodo, his chief security officer, CSO, Aliyu Musa, and his senior special assistant, media and publicity, that's Gaba Shehu, had contracted COVID-19. Commenting on the report, Additional stated that the fact they are presidential aides does not make them immune to certain things. He, however, added that Garba Shehu should have recovered from the virus as he tested positive last week, Wednesday. Well, I quote him, "Well, what I like to say is that presidential aides are just human. They can fall sick. If anything happens to human beings, it can also happen to presidential aides. The fact that we are presidential aides does not make us to be immune to certain things," he said. "If there is a virus that is ravaging society, well, it can touch anybody." So Malam Garba Shehu has confirmed that, yes, he tested positive, but he said it's a mild one. And I believe that by now, because it's happened since Wednesday, by now he should almost have beaten it. If he has not beaten it already, there is no cause for alarm. On how he was holding up since he had contact with Shehu, Femi Adesina said, "Well, I also believe God for the best. If it happens, I will recover. So that's it." On the level of infection among presidential aides, the spokesperson said, "No, that will not be within my purview to discuss. Maybe if you get the presidential doctor or anybody in the medical side, they will tell you. I wouldn't know because it is a private thing. If it happens to anybody, it is between that person and possibly the doctor. It's not going to be general knowledge, so I may not be able to say." Asked if Buhari is isolating as a result of positive cases around him, Adesina said, "Well, I think Mr. President is quite fine. He's doing his normal routine, following his normal schedule. But if anybody close to him tests positive, that person is required to stay away till he tests again. And he tests negative. So Mr. President is following his normal schedule and routine." Looks like all those Nigerians were shouting, "Fake news, it's not real." You've heard it now the second time. The first time came from a Shehu Garba himself, who opened up. He said, "Look, yeah, I do not know about others, but for him, he had it. It's mad. It's a mad variant that he's doing his physical routines, his 1 hour checks, and he believes that he's doing well. But it's for the medical field to, medical doctor after a series of tests to confirm if he's physically okay, because it's not just a physical thing. You have to also make some tests to ensure that it's scientifically okay as well." When they tried contacting Femi Adesina, as at that time when it was very viral, he deliberately didn't want to respond to that. It's more comfortable to deny it, that it's not real, than to say it is real. And then some Nigerians will go on fasting and prayer. "Oh Lord, this corona must not, come on. These guys are human." And then Femi Adesina, the spokesperson, assistant media person to the president, had actually said The humans, whatever happens to others can happen to them. The likes of Abakari, the late Abakari, made Nigerians realize that these guys are not demigods. They're human beings. They're not immune to those things that happen to others. Say, if others can have insecurity, they can too. The only difference is that they have classified access to personnel, security aids, but unlike physical protection that's got to do with security, special security forces helping protecting them everywhere they go. In this case, when it comes to the issue of pandemic, it has no respect. Yes, if it can catch A, it can also catch B. Just flout the rules and it is at your doorstep. And it's now saying, people are now wondering what's going on. How come every person or people around the president, those his media presence and other persons mentioned, seem to have tested positive? How come the president is negative? Well, he's just helped Nigerians to understand the dynamics of how they operate in the presidency in Aso Rock, where he said, look, the president follows routine checks. He doesn't joke with it. He follows his schedules. He doesn't joke with it. He said, for every time you're trying to see him, you got to go through some tests until you're negative. Because if you are positive, you are not allowed access till further notice. You're not allowed access to the president until you're tested again and you're negative. Okay, so it's like just like every other thing. Physically speaking, they protect the number one person, the number one citizen of the country. Physically speaking, they ensure that before you even get to the president, you have gone through a series of security checks. Okay, they've checked you spiritually, physically to be sure that you are not with anything before they allow you in. That's the same thing they do medically. They ensure also that before you get to see the president, your result shows that, because all this traveling here and there, your report shows that you're okay, medically fit. Okay, but if for any reason you go run through tests and they see a mild variant, please, you don't even come close. And he follows his routine. We don't know exactly what the routine is, but I guess the routine's also got to do with medical things. A lot of Nigerians have been praying, honestly, the kind of prayers they've been praying, you begin to understand the hearts of men. And there's some person like, what's going on? Every other person, the same thing happened in Abakari's time. He hit Abakari and every other person was still okay. What's going on? Of course, one or two persons in that conversation, there was like, Corona, you did not do your work, or you didn't complete it. Go back and complete your work. I was like, come on, this guy is a human. And that's also to tell you that the life of every man is in God's hands. Okay? And how you live it, it's up to you as a person. So I guess if the president also understands the dynamics of how the disease, the pandemic works, he also is following, the routines judiciously. I guess that's where we'll go wrap it up. Well, Femi Adesina have just said to speak just for himself. But if Shehu Gaba could say that he had it, that means 80%, if not 100% of that report is actually carrying the same news. Let's meet in our comment section. What's your take? To have a